Anson is there, cuts it back, Hamilton!
And how about the North Carolina Courage? We welcome you to another edition of On the Road presented by Continental Tire. 3 games in for the North Carolina Courage. No surprise, 3 victories and 9 points. Hello, everybody. I'm Dean Linke, proud to be the longtime voice of the North Carolina Courage and proud to be with each and every one of you, the great fans of the North Carolina Courage who, like me, I'm sure, are enjoying every minute of the North Carolina Courage success. I'm so pleased to be joined by my co-hosts for Continental Tire on the Road, the great Anna Whitty. And Anna, what can you say? 3 games, 3 victories, North Carolina Courage getting it done.
I didn't expect anything less from them. I hope to see another 4th victory here next week. But yes, it's great to see 9 points on the board.
Well, we've got a big gap. That means a lot of practice. So we're going to go to some video as we see a practice update presented by Citrix. The team has been out, staying busy. Of course, I think they're led by the best women's professional soccer coach in the world in Paul Riley. Every practice is a good practice, Anna.
Yeah, I'm excited that they're just back out on the pitch. They have 8 days in between their next game, so probably just to loosen up their legs, stay active. Probably not anything super intense, probably a lot of small-sided like you see there, but just enough to keep them competitive, going at each other and ready and loose for Sunday night.
One of the things we heard from Paul Riley, in fact, when we asked him how he was going to decide on starting lineups, he's like, that's what practice is for. Practice, you play well, you get a chance to start or you get a chance to get in the game. So every practice, even out in Utah, it means something.
Yeah, I agree. And I really like that mentality that he's giving whoever is showing up to practice and playing their hardest are the ones he's going to, what's the word I'm looking for? Just let play. And that they just have to earn their position and just not what they've accomplished so far or their accolades are giving them the starting role, but how hard they work in practice and how hard they work from their team. So, yeah, I agree with Paul Riley. That's great.
Make no mistake, though, Anna Whitty, this team is absolutely loaded. They've got World Cup stars everywhere, and we're lucky enough to catch up with one. I'll let you set up our first big interview of the show.
Yes, we, like he said, we're lucky enough to catch up with Crystal Dunn. We wished her a belated happy birthday, but this interview was really fun. It was presented by Mindy.
Time now for our in-depth interview presented by Mindy, and we are pleased to be joined by not just a member of the North Carolina Courage, but make no exception, one of the greatest players in the world. Talking about the great Crystal Dunn. Crystal, thanks for being with us.
Thank you so much for having me.
And happy belated birthday, just a few days removed from your birthday. How was that?
It was really fun. I mean, yeah, the girls really did a good job making all of the birthdays here feel like, a really special moment to celebrate. So it was really fun.
Crystal, you'll be happy to know that I just finished an interview with Anson Dorrance for the United Soccer Coaches podcast, and I told him you were going to be on, and he kind of stopped in his tracks and said, I really am feeling for Crystal Dunn. You got the Black Lives Matter issue, and nobody could be a better spokesperson right now, Crystal, because he's so right. Forever, you have been a technical, tactical, fantastic player, a player that can play anywhere, and it doesn't matter your skin color. You're just outstanding. So he's like, we posted your message as well. This is Anson talking. What does that mean to you?
It's really awesome that we have all the support. I mean, ever since I've been in this bubble, I do think there's been so many conversations, and Anson has obviously been a true supporter of mine for a very long time. So I think him just, reaching out all the time and wanting to have more conversations and, supporting me any way he can during these times, I think is really important.
One more question for me, and I'll then turn it over to Anna, because it reminded me when you won the McDermott Trophy, you came in, you and I sat down at the Dean Dome. And even back then, they were still talking about, yeah, she's fast. She's just, this or that. But Anson's like, she's a great soccer player, one of the best in the world. And that's how we need to do it from now on, right?
Yeah, I think, the message I put out there a couple of weeks ago was really not to take away qualities from players. I think, obviously, for me, I am quite fast. I am quick. But I do think that there's just sometimes too much emphasis on those qualities. I think it's important as a commentator, as a coach, to really just see the player and all that they bring to the game. So I think if we just constantly talk about players' athletic ability, I think it just takes away from any moments that they may have in the game of creativity and just some spark that has nothing to do with their athleticism.
I'm sure you know this by now, but the game you guys played against Portland on CBS on June 27th had 572,000 viewers, which was almost 200 times what the viewership was in last year's championship game. So how does that number make you feel about the NWSL's potential?
Yeah, I think, the NWSL bringing sports back was a really powerful moment. I think also the teams all unified and kneeling and really pushing out the message for Black Lives Matter is really important as well. So I think, that game was really important for both teams. We talked a lot about it leading into the games, had some conversations with the Portland girls just to make sure that we're all on the same page, because ultimately we wanted to bring sports back and have a very powerful message along with, letting the world see sports again.
Right. And I kind of want to move to soccer now. You guys have played 3 games in 9 days. It's been 11 days since your first game. Just how are you feeling right now?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, we always knew it was going to be challenging. I think this is a really important tournament for a lot of young players as well, because we really went into this tournament knowing that we're going to need everybody, So I think for me, it was really nice to be able to not feel like I had to max out minutes. And I do think that we have a deep roster. So it's been really great to know that, we're all in this together and we're not relying on just 1 or 2 players. It's really unified collective group that we need in order to hopefully hoist up the trophy at the end of this.
I want to go back to your comment about creative play, because especially since we're going to talk to Merritt Mathias a little bit later, she'd normally be the right back. Then Heather O'Reilly, she had a baby. She retired. She's gone. So now Addison Merrick and Ryan Williams steps in. Crystal Dunn, if they didn't step in and play well, you may have heard the rumor that Paul Riley said he may put you back there, which is probably not where you want to. How great is it to see those two doing great at right back?
I love that we have so many outside backs on this team, because that means I can remain right there in the middle of the pitch and, just play a position that I feel like is the truest version of myself. But of course, I am ultimate team player, where should the team need me in that position, I was, always going to be ready for that.
Well, because of the Challenge Cup, like you said, Paul Riley's just been using your entire bench. So you haven't seen as many minutes as you probably would in just a normal season. How has your leadership changed? Because you're not necessarily a leader 100% time on the field, but sometimes on the sidelines.
Yeah, I think, every player is different in this tournament. I think there are players that want to max out minutes and play every second of every game. I think for me, I went into this tournament wanting to make an impact when I am on the field, but also knowing that, I really don't need to be maxing out minutes. If the team needs me to do so, then great. But if there is an opportunity for other players to perform and get on the pitch, then I'm all for it. So I've just been really, leading either on the field or trying to lead by example. And if I'm not on the field, then it's always being the biggest cheerleader and trying to motivate my team and encourage my teammates to keep putting out good performances.
Crystal, one player that it's been easy to cheer for is Dabinia. Paul Riley has talked about how you've made her a better player. Dabinia, like you, is now one of the best players in the world. When you watch her growth right in front of you, including her ability to play both sides, offense and defense, how does that make you feel, Crystal Dunn?
Yeah, I mean, I always tell people that I can only be the best version of myself if my teammates are pushing themselves to be that as well for themselves. And I think it's been really fun and exhilarating playing alongside Dabinia, because I think we feed and vibe off of each other really well. I think she's obviously one of the top attacking players in the world. And, I love being able to kind of allow her to have that freedom to roam even higher up the pitch and allowing me to kind of cover in behind her. So I think for me, it's really important that I allow her to be the best version of herself that she can possibly be. And even if my role has to change and I have to think more defensively to allow her to go forward more, then I think that that's what's best for the team. And it's been really incredible watching her grow and become even better and better every single season.
Well, moving to just the bubble, I'm personally really curious about what's going on inside. Are you watching anything fun or reading any books? You guys have 8 days in between your last game and the next game.
Yeah, I think everyone's different. I think, of course, the girls that played a lot of minutes are using these next couple of days of like, a little bit of rest and recover. We do have a pretty close team, so a lot of the girls have been getting together and playing some games and just trying to keep busy. But for me, I've been going on walks. I've been trying to just get a little bit of fresh air whenever I can, and just connecting with some friends that are not inside the bubble. I also see my husband from afar, which is nice. So every day looks different. I'm trying to find new things of keeping busy and letting the time pass.
Finally, Crystal Dunn, you won all those games at UNC. You've won all those games with the U.S. youth teams. You've won World Cups with the U.S. team. You've won all these championships with the North Carolina Courage. With all those wins, how important is it to add an NWSL Challenge Cup victory to your resume?
Oh, I mean, winning does not get old. I think, I can look at my career and I said, yeah, I've been on a lot of winning teams, but I think each year I set out a new goal. So this year it was obviously the Olympics in the beginning of the year. And once that was canceled, it was always about, okay, what is soccer going to look like in this country? And obviously the Challenge Cup was brought up to us. And of course, if you're going to be involved in a tournament, you might as well win the whole thing, right? So I do think that, we've been playing pretty decently well. I think our games can get a little bit better. Our performances can get better. But I think we're on a great track. And I really feel confident that this group is going to go the whole way.
Let's end with this, Crystal Dunn, because we read your statement, but in your own words, your message to everybody about Black Lives Matter as we try to make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it really just takes open conversations and open commitment to trying to make the world a better place. I think, the biggest misconception is that this is a Black person's issue, and I think the more that everyone can get involved and everyone can fight for change, that's the only way that I see the real change happening and long-lasting change. So I hope that everyone's feeling comfortable having these conversations and wanting to make the difference, because we really do need everybody.
I feel like I know I'm speaking for the entire club and all the great fans of the North Carolina Courage and the U.S. Women's National Team when I say thank you, Crystal Dunn, for everything you're doing on the field and off.
Thank you.
All right, Crystal Dunn, what an outstanding ambassador. And her message is real, Anna Whitty. And for you and I, even as commentators, even sort of that sometimes passive racism that you don't realize, at the end of the day, this is a world-class player that is smart and that is tactical and that can do everything.
Yeah, this Courage team's really lucky to have her on their team. I think she's just used her voice as a Black woman very well with her team, also with the U.S. Women's National Team, and also has just been a great leader in general for this team. So, yeah, it was really great to hear what she had to say about what happened Saturday and what's just been happening overall in this Challenge Cup.
The name of the show is called On the Road with Continental Tire. The sponsors are all over the place, stepping up to get behind arguably the best women's pro team in the world for a good reason, because they're fantastic. You mentioned the number, almost 600,000 saw the North Carolina Courage play Portland to start the NWSL Challenge Cup. That means sponsors want to get involved. We thank Kyle Prairie and Santiago and all the great crew with the North Carolina Courage for bringing those sponsors forward. With that, Anna Whitty, I'll let you set up our next segment.
Yeah, so today we're not going to have any Courage trivia, but we do have the CEO of Iconic. He did join Dean just to talk about his company. Here is just the first half of the interview.
Hello again, everybody. Dean Linke, as you've heard me several times, whether it's On the Road with Continental Tire or a pregame or postgame show, we couldn't do it without our incredible sponsors. And guess what? we got a new big-time sponsor. You can see it on the sleeve of the North Carolina Courage. It's called Iconic. We start every show with the iconic hype video that always gets me pumped up, and we are so pleased to be joined by Kazim Attila, who is the CEO of Iconic, changing the game for social media. Kazim, great to be with you.
No, thank you having me here, Dean. Really excited, being here, for the first time, and hopefully for many times to, doing some great success with the Courage team.
Well, we look forward to that. And before you had any success with the Courage, you've had success with other pro franchises. Talk about some of the teams that Iconic is already working with.
I mean, yeah, definitely. We started launching our website end of January, and we got amazing football clubs already, the likes of AS Monaco. Iconic Group is headquartered in Monaco, so it was obvious as well, partnering, of course, with AS Monaco Football Club here. Olympique Marseille, another great football team. We also partnered with the EuroLeague Basketball, which consists of 2 leagues, 42 clubs from 19 countries. So it's an amazing partnership. We went further to the Drone Champions League. You have to look at it as a Formula One, Formula E, racing through the streets, which they have been doing for the last 3 years, growing really amazing. And, of course, combining the physical sport with esports, what Iconic, of course, as a platform comes in. And definitely as well with the North Carolina Football Club, and there are many more to come. But yeah, these are the first ones that we have already partnered.
In your own words, what does Iconic do, and how are they going to change the game as it relates to social media?
I mean, first and foremost, we definitely not like social media. We are a fan engagement platform. Fan engagement, the word fan engagement is a buzzword that's going on for the last 5-10 years. And like many buzzwords, people talk about it, but there is really not much happening. We have been into this for the last 4 years, have been really working in it. What we have done is we really studied the problems, the needs, the requirements, the wishes from the 3 main target groups. 1, the rights holders. 2, the fans. 3, and last but not least, the brands. And when we look at it from our point, we are a fan engagement platform that focuses 100% on sport and entertainment under one umbrella. And when I mean under one umbrella, it is all sports and all entertainment in one single platform. When we look at many other platforms, and as you know very well, Dean, and many others that will see this and hear this, there are many dedicated apps from football, Formula One, MLB, NFL, boxing, you name it. But having it as an umbrella in one single place related to sport and entertainment and fan engagement, no. We are a fan-centric platform, and we created the right solutions for those 3 target groups. And what we have done and focused on, Dean, is a more personal, more rewarding, and a more purposeful fan engagement. So now the fans who have been fans of these clubs for decades, through thick and thin, weather or no weather. And now we are really, creating an amazing platform that they, are central point into that team.
Great to spend some time with Kazim. We'll have more with him on our next On the Road presented by Continental Tire. Anna Whitty, my great co-host, will set the times for that. Speaking of Anna Whitty, she comes in there now. We've got another On the Road presented by Continental Tire. When's that coming, Anna Whitty?
That will be Saturday at 7 o'clock. We'll be back with more interviews and a breakdown of the game against Sky Blue.
All right. Then we'll also have our pregame show and postgame show coming up for that final game as part of the first 4 games. What time and when is that?
So the next game is Sunday at 10 o'clock. The pregame show is at 9:30 ahead of the game. And then make sure to stay around for our postgame show directly after the game.
Anna Whitty, you always keep me on track. I do appreciate it. It's been great being on this show with you. Another player that's back on track, Merritt Mathias. When she went down, Paul Riley was saying best right back in the league. He was saying the U.S. national team should look at her. Of course, she tore her ACL last season. Thankfully, the great Heather O'Reilly was there to fill in the gap. But Merritt Mathias is back. She's in Utah, and we caught up with her. It's the Healthier Toes interview with Merritt Mathias. Let's roll that. Time now for our Healthier Toes interview corner, and we're hoping her toes are healthy. We're hoping her knee is healthy. We're hoping everything's getting healthy because we all love Merritt Mathias, the great right back who's kind enough to join us. Great to see you, Merritt Mathias. First off, and tell us how your knee is going. How's rehab?
Hi, everyone. It's so good to be here. Thank you for having me on. My knee is getting there. You know, it's definitely a work in progress. This injury is not an easy one to come back from, and I think you know, it's a definite like mental and physical battle. So, but it's been great to be back around the team and get back into the environment. And I think at this point in my recovery, it was definitely something that I needed, and to just have the opportunity to be here and support the girls has been incredible. So happy to be here.
Yeah, how important was it for you to be in Utah and not stay behind, but rather be together with the club?
I think for me, it was something that I felt like very necessary, just where I was in my recovery. And then, you know, after 9 months of not really being around the environment, and then with everything with the pandemic and just pushing things back and making everything look just a little bit different, not just for myself, but for everyone involved. When this became an opportunity, I was like, well, is there any way that I can meet you guys in Utah? And it became a possibility. So yeah, I think it was like really important to get around the team and just start to get my soccer legs under me as best I could.
Obviously, the pandemic has kind of thrown a wrench in a lot of things, and just being at the NWSL Challenge Cup in a bubble maybe obviously is very different. So when the girls are training or even on a game day, what does a recovery workout look like for you?
Right now I'm in training with the girls. I take part in like the warm up, passing patterns, fitness, yeah, stuff like that, working into like contact. On game days, it depends on how many days I've worked leading up until the game day. Some days I'll warm up and go through more passing patterns, do like some fitness, or I'll just take that day off to be ready to train the following day with the players that didn't get to see a lot of minutes. So yeah, it kind of looks like that. And then I'm getting into the gym and, you know, trying to do all the little things right.
So you're almost to contact. It sounds like you're just on the verge of non-contact.
Yes, I think, again, with everything looking the way that it did and things getting pushed back and just what I was dealing with my personal recovery, it just, yeah, I think I am ready for it. It's just making sure that it's done in a smart and correct way. Just because the timeline's been skewed and haven't been able to get back and see my surgeon, and travel's been an issue. So yeah, it's just been kind of a crazy. So we're just like working with what we have and like making sure that it's done the right way.
Merritt, when you went out, Paul Riley was calling you the best right back in the United States, which was high praise because there's some good right backs even in this league. Now we've got a youngster in Addison Merrick, the 28th pick, Ryan Williams, who's been a great teammate forever. How have you helped those two settle in at right back?
I personally haven't been here for that long, so it's been about 10 days. I think for me, I'm just like, when I can, I chime in on things that could be a little bit better, or just like little things that like just you have to be aware of in terms of that position. And I think also just holding the standard high when I can. I think that's what you have to do. You have to, expect that nothing is going to change whether I'm in the game or someone else is in the game. So I think when I can, just helping out and saying my piece and moving along.
You have a very unique perspective on the game right now, and obviously your eyes are really closely on this team. So where have you seen this team improve on the field since last season?
Let's see. I think this is an interesting time because it's like been such a crazy time period for every team that's involved in this league and getting prepared for this tournament. And so I think just our team's ability to kind of take it in stride and hold this standard of we are going to be very fit. We are going to, expect the same standard to be upheld, even if like we haven't had all this control over this situation. I think it's really beneficial that, our midfield has kind of stayed intact. Our back line has pretty much stayed intact, and then our forward line has pretty much stayed intact. So you have pretty consistent play within those lines. And I think, at this point there's room to get better. I think we know that as a team, we haven't had the performance that we wanted to have, and that's totally okay. We have 9 points in this tournament, which is awesome. But I think if you were to ask me, I think we haven't reached the point that we want to reach, and that's totally fine, but it's not going to keep us from like working incredibly hard to get there.
2 more quick questions for you, Merritt. When you get to this level, usually there's a strong family bond and there's great coaches. I think about you, Anson Dorrance, G. Guerreri, Paul Riley, and probably a couple others. Those are some big-time coaches. How have they helped you and shape you as a player?
Sorry, during this time or just in my career?
Just in your career.
Oh, yes, I've had incredible coaches along the way. I've been, fortunate to be on a lot of winning teams that have like a very similar mentality that I have when I step onto the field. And I think, along the way, the best thing that all these coaches have done for me is just recognize my potential and squeeze every little bit out of me and hold me to a standard that, that I want to achieve every day. And I think that's the only way to be great. And yeah, they've helped facilitate that all throughout my career from one coach to another. And I'm so appreciative.
I know that North Carolina Courage fans love and adore you. They're praying for you. They want you back out there. What is your message to the great fans of the North Carolina Courage watching tonight, Merritt?
I will tell you this. I will be back and better than ever. Just give me a little bit of time.
That is perfect. I can't wait. It's the Help Your Toes interview with the great right back, Merritt Mathias. Merritt, an honor to see you. Wishing you well, and can't wait to see you back on the field.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it.
All right, Merritt Mathias. Just another idea of the fact that how loaded this team is. They're winning all these games, and they're going to get Merritt Mathias back at some point.
I know one of their key players is injured, and there's still 9 points on the board. It's really impressive. And I think all these Courage fans are going to be really happy to hear that she said she'll be back and better than ever. And she's still got a lot to prove on the field.
Good to spend time with Merritt Mathias. Great to spend time with my co-host, Anna Whitty, who's doing a great job, particularly keeping us on track. Let's take a look at the schedule coming up. 3 games in, 3 wins, 9 points. 1 more game, though, for the North Carolina Courage. It'll be on July 13th. It'll be a late game, Anna Whitty, so we're going to have the coffee ready.
I know, another late game, but that's okay. I kind of enjoyed the late game. And part of me kind of feels like the team enjoyed playing 8 o'clock their time, not so early in the morning. So hopefully this will just be another fun game for them under the lights.
All right, Anna, let's get caught up on the standings. You see the North Carolina Courage rolling along. They've got the 3 wins, which actually translates to 9 points. So they've got 9 points already. Well done on Houston and Utah and Washington. There's been some surprises, but remember, they're playing for seeds, Anna.
Yeah, I've been really impressed with the Houston team. Actually, we're not going to see them in the preliminary round, but we could see them in the knockout rounds. But clearly the Courage are way ahead of the other teams. But don't just watch the Courage games. Make sure to support the other NWSL games. Tomorrow night, Wednesday night, Utah plays the Reign at 12:30, and then Sky Blue takes on Houston at 10 o'clock. So we'll be able to preview what we see before Sunday night in Sky Blue. So that'll be a great game to watch.
All right, great plug as well. Your final thoughts as we wrap up this show. Obviously, it was great to spend time with Crystal Dunn, Merritt Mathias, and the leader of Iconic.
Yeah, again, really great to spend time with Crystal Dunn, kind of pick her mind on what's it been like for her to be on this team and kind of be going through this time with her teammates, helping, encouraging them, and just being a leader on the field as well. I loved hearing about Merritt Mathias' recovery, where she's kind of at. I didn't know she was so close to contact that she was actually playing with the team, practicing like that. So that's really encouraging. And who knows if we'll have a season outside of the Cup. No one really knows, but maybe she'll be on the field for them. But yeah, this was a really fun time. It was great being with you, Dean. I enjoyed these interviews and just being able to hang out with you again.
All right. Thank you so much, Anna Whitty. We want to thank Jorge Acuna, the VP of Broadcasting, pulling all the strings. I want to thank Steve Malik, the owner of the club, as well as Kurt Johnson, the president, GM. Out in Utah, Megan Rogers and Bobby have done an amazing job getting us the players. We hope you've enjoyed them. We'll have more player interviews for our next On the Road with Continental Tire. That's Saturday night, as Anna Whitty already told you. Anna Whitty, one more time, thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. These are fun shows to be on.
All right, I'm Dean Linke saying my favorite thing. You know it. 3 games in, 3 wins. How about the North Carolina Courage?